Good YouTube, it's your boy CJ. Hey man, I can already tell it's gonna be one of these videos today, man. It's gonna make me feel some type of way. But we're gonna go ahead and get through this video though, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on, but I can see a cop, man, he just doing too much, I guess. Just off the title, man, he doing too much. So we're gonna go ahead and see what's going on, man.
On August 23rd, 2020, police officers on patrol in Chicago made the abrupt decision to detain a young man by the name of Leroy Kennedy. One moment Leroy was going about his day, and the next, he was being tackled, his face ground into the pavement. He was resisting arrest, officers would later inform him. But the original reason they stopped him seemed to mystify everyone, including the officers themselves, who seemed intent on behaving unprofessionally throughout the encounter. Right away, we're situated in the middle of a chaotic scene fueled by an incensed mob. They've just witnessed a violent incident instigated by the police themselves.
Hey, no, chill out. You got roll your we'll roll your Take that we just you. Take the come on, we'll roll your you just busted. Okay, you just busted. Take that. You playing, bro. You playing, bro. You playing, bro. You playing. We better help you. Let me go for y'all. Helping you. Take it out. Helping you. You just this face up like that. Man, you just this face up. Let you stand on that bitch. She was trying to fight me. Man, you was trying to fight the you touching me for no reason, bro. I ain't got shit on you, bro. I ain't take off running. I walked off. I ain't run. I walked off. On my little criminal. Stop pushing him, bro. I'm gonna get some medical attention, bro.
You might expect that once Leroy is in the back of the squad car, his defenders will disperse. However, this seems to have the exact opposite effect.
Bro, back up, back up. I'll be back. Back up.
The chaotic scene has quickly evolved to what appears to be a standoff between officers and civilians. The officer, having put his hands around Leroy's neck and having thrown him to the ground, definitely doesn't appear to have been warranted. While exercising force against a fleeing suspect is allowed, so long as the force is reasonable under the circumstances, Leroy didn't appear to have been a fleeing suspect. He also didn't appear to have been resisting, nor did it seem he had any weapons on his person. There must be specific, articulable facts to support the exercise of force, and here we aren't seeing any.
Give me some space. I'm trying to get medical attention, bro. Because you did. It is what it is. Ain't no that's why we don't like y'all. Should kill y'all. I hate y'all.
Bruh, I ain't gonna lie. I don't see a whole lot happening out this video. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like on some real junk. Like, bruh, if you ain't willing to die behind this shit, man, when it come with the police, bro, you might as well go in the house, gang. All this right here ain't doing nothing. You ain't stopping nothing. Ain't nobody feeling no pressure, but you just talking. It's the same thing in the streets. If a nigga just talking, you just talking, bro. Like, bro, man, bro, get your ass out the way, bro. You talking, bro. You ain't about to do nothing. Ain't nobody out there willing to die behind that dude that's in that car, bro. Ain't nobody out there willing to crash all the way out and pull life, bro, for feeling disrespected. So what we doing? I never understood the whole point of bucking against cops, bro. But you still gonna lose. If you not willing to die behind what you out there arguing about, you might as well just let it go, man.
You just my face up, bro. I ain't got though. I have nothing. Why you take
He's still in the, bro. See what I'm saying? All this going on, everybody out there screaming and yelling, bro. This man still going in your pockets, bro. Bro, it gotta be to a point where you just stay out their way, or you ready to crash out, bro, for feeling disrespected, bro. Motherfuckers be got them quick to crash out on a nigga on the streets, bro, but let the cops do any and everything to him. That's what I don't get.
I walked off, bro. I walked off, bro. Did you move my hands? Bro, I walked. You want to search me, bro? How about the cop you search me? You can search me hands down.
Still searching.
I don't have nothing on me.
Hamlin in the custer. Take control now.
I got you, bro.
Okay, now disregard. Take a disregard. Disregard Hamlin in the custer. Augusta and Hamlin. Take a disregard.
It also doesn't help that more police are joining the scene by the minute. It's hard to say who's most upset, Leroy, the crowd, or the police. One of the officers who participated in the arrest appears to be particularly agitated and takes it out on the crowd.
Let's go then. Skinny. Take that off. 140-pound ass. 140 pounds. Hold on with your homies. Talk to you.
Man, not that disrespecting, bro.
Yeah. He wasn't like that when you just got out here. He was not like that. He was not like that. He said he got his own now. When you off the clock, he gonna get you every day. Stay there.
See, bro, I ain't with none of this. Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, each his own, but I'm not with it, bro. I'm not about to be standing out here arguing with niggas, bro, because I think about the whole point. Like, bro, it ain't no point in wasting time with cops, gang. It ain't no point. All y'all out there talking. All y'all out there, like, bro, do something. That's the only time stuff get respect. That's why I say you gotta be willing to die behind this shit, man. You gotta show these cops, like, bro, y'all not gonna come over here, bro. If we dying, somebody dying with us. Until that day, bro, just go in the crib, bro. Stay out the way. Ain't nobody dying behind nothing. That's why ain't nothing changing. You'll never see me out here doing this, bro. It is what it is, bro. Whatever that's going on, that's what's going on. But we either gonna put action behind our words or we gonna keep our, well, shit, nigga, I'm gonna keep my words to myself. For what? For what? This shit is pointless, bro.
I appreciate you guys. Stay right there, it's fine. Why you getting all tough and down like that? Sticks and you picking up sticks and
You calling me, man, all type of names. Ain't nobody trying to go to jail.
We did, we know. We're not lying about it. Right. Okay? Oh, what the force for? We start fighting around. He choked him through the gate. You try to talk to him. You pulled up. We don't need that. Yeah, because he snapped. He did. I understand. Okay? But Buddy was coming up behind him. Okay? Trying to pull him away. It's on camera. It's on camera. Talking to a white dude, bro. What's the issue? Lock your dumb. You need more training. I need more training. You need safety back. You got a mental problem. He said he's gonna catch a body. Everything recorded. Him right here. He said he gonna catch a body out here. Everything he came up to me with a stick.
But ain't not gonna happen, gang.
Straight home. You flipped him, bro.
Do something.
Take that down, bro. Take that down, bro. Look at this face, bro. I'll catch a body today.
You might think you misheard the officer, but he did in fact say that he was looking to catch a body.
Man, these niggas throwing threats, bro. What y'all gonna do about it? All out there arguing, bro. Somebody about to get killed and ain't nothing still gonna happen, bro. What's the point? What's the point, bro? What's the point?
And as he continuously points out to the crowd, it's all on video.
You picked up a bag. It's on camera. I did. I will.
Everything has gotten out of hand, and the officer needs to quickly separate Leroy from the scene. Considering the number of members of law enforcement who've responded to the scene.
Man said I'm about to catch a body, bro. Fuck. Y'all gonna let niggas disrespect y'all like that, gang? Y'all niggas ain't willing to die behind this shit. Go in the crib, gang. For real. Hey, but that man said, bro, he willing to catch a body out there, bro. He got all his boys around. Y'all know y'all ain't ready to die behind that man in that truck, bro.
At least 1 to 2 should be making efforts to de-escalate the situation and to calm the civilians. However, what we've seen isn't consistent with this. At this point, it's clear that the officers have lost control of the situation. Irate civilians have surrounded the cruiser, and Leroy should have already been transported away from the scene.
I wasn't? Your ass was inside.
That man said he ready to catch a body in a black neighborhood.
There's something obviously wrong with him, bro.
The situation is now completely out of control. Officers are behaving unprofessionally, which tarnishes the law enforcement badge. While they should never let their emotions be seen, their anger has gotten the best of them. The civilians have a right to challenge authority, and the officers have no right to speak to the civilians the way they are, including the name-calling and threatening to lock them up as you just witnessed. As the police car begins to pull away, the officer continues shouting insults out the window.
Make more than you, bro. Running. Remind me to take this.
Crazy, bro. This man,
I got you, okay? I got you. We got you. And nobody gonna treat you badly. I'm gonna get you water and everything, okay?
But based on the police treatment Leroy has experienced so far, though, these promises likely don't mean much. Back where the crowd is gathered, several bystanders attempt to explain how the situation has played out so far. The response they get is lackluster at best, if not outright dismissive.
He go see his sister, man.
Put their hand on
And he jumped out, he grabbed him. He didn't try to get aggressive with him. He picked him up and slammed him, man. On the guy in the car.
The officer, when
The
the
black
gentleman
officer
told
picked
him
him up.
to not touch him,
Right.
the officer got mad and choked him.
Yeah, he
and
choked
then he tried to resist. The officer took him and slammed him on the ground.
He wasn't doing
So
nothing
why
wrong.
did the police officer get out of the car?
We have no idea. They
Told me
parked
to
right
sit
here.
right here.
They parked right here. They were sitting down right here. He started walking towards them. The gentleman got up and started walking away.
Yeah, 'cause
I guess he didn't want no problem. They never found nothing wrong. He wasn't doing anything wrong. The black officer tried to corner him off, ran and chased him and blocked him off. He said, "Man, I ain't did nothing. Don't touch me." The officer grabbed him and started choking him.
All right.
My suggestion is, if you want to make a complaint, you can call COFA. But it looks like the guy's under arrest for.
Did all that explaining, bro. For what? They don't care, bro. They don't care, gang. Don't care, bro. Stop following the image and all that shit, bro. You gotta look at this shit for what it is. They don't care, bro. That man disrespecting. That man said, bro, he willing to catch a body out there, bitch. But let another black man say that shit to you, bro. Niggas ready to crash out, go to prison and follow directions, bro. But you can't follow directions out here on the street, gang. Everybody want to be hood, but ain't nobody willing to die behind this shit. Man, this shit. Weak, man.
What that something is remains to be seen. An officer needs to take charge of the situation and give the disgruntled witnesses a voice. They need for someone to listen and to feel they've been heard. They should be given the option to fill out statements and potentially compose formal complaints. Even if the complaints don't move forward, perception is everything, even so much as giving the witnesses business cards as a way to build trust. For now, officers clear the original scene and arrange to meet EMS at a more controlled location. However, not all of the officers go quietly, fanning the flames of unrest before leaving the area.
When we come out thick, that's how we do. I'm just talking to the community, bro. That's it.
You talking about we come out big.
I still love you, though. I still love you.
Laughing in y'all face, bro.
They need attention. All right, let's go. They just need attention. I don't want to give a attention.
Just a few blocks away, one of the officers waiting for EMTs to assess Leroy finally thinks to ask a rather important question.
We jumped.
What y'all doing? I'm trying to see what y'all arrested.
What's he arrested for?
They instantly started fighting.
But you don't know what he arrested for?
Be arrested for. Hey, no, hey, see my face. Do you see my face?
As we saw in the arrest footage, this isn't exactly true. It seems that the police are getting creative. Police chased Leroy down, and it was only after they laid hands on him that he began to flail.
They started grabbing on Ridge as soon as he walked up, grabbing his back, grabbing the back of his vest, pulling him away. We didn't even say.
This claim may be true. Conflict once again flares between Leroy and the officers while they wait for EMS. Even rookies are taught not to engage with a yelling detainee. While it would go a long way in the court of public opinion and among a jury when footage shows officers not engaging, this particular officer opens the door to the cruiser and confronts Leroy. His act is clearly unprofessional. In addition, the backwards worn baseball hat wouldn't be a standard issued uniform item.
Back to back, they just doing what they want to do, bro.
Police already saw that Leroy had a phone during the arrest, the search, and when they initially placed him in the car.
Injuries from takedown? Yeah. I see you. Yeah.
Harry, ring the rep, yo, Robinson on long clock. What don't you think I home? I'm gonna get all you. Watch this.
Soon EMTs arrive to tend to Leroy's injuries. He's escorted out of the police car and into the ambulance while police decide who will accompany him to the hospital. Before getting underway, police take the opportunity to search Leroy again, but nothing incriminating has appeared in his pockets since the last time they checked. With that out of the way, they can finally head to the hospital. In addition to the scrapes on his face, Leroy was treated for injuries to his hands and wrists. There were also concerns about a concussion due to the force with which Leroy's head hit the pavement. While he has recovered physically, he's since come forward to say the encounter left him traumatized.
I don't understand why you still up.
What's up?
Why you still up?
Why am I still what?
Why the you still up?
Why am I still what?
You heard what I said.
It's a good question because you've certainly noticed Leroy still hasn't been told why he's under arrest. While the United States Supreme Court has held that it's good police practice to tell a suspect why they're being arrested when taken into custody, the Supreme Court has found no constitutional requirement to do so. Very few states statutorily require this in the United States. It's an exception far from the norm.
Patel 18129.
Damn sure gonna know. My lawyer come holler at y'all, you damn sure gonna know.
Cool.
Damn sure finna get y'all food.
Alright, that's good.
Like, damn sure finna get y'all food. But tour,
Best of luck to you, buddy.
1829.
Best of luck to you, buddy.
Good luck.
He said the best of luck.
You got 200,000 for the same. Got good. Why you grab me like that? Why you grab me for though? I don't get why he touching me, bro.
When Leroy's arrest came under investigation, it seemed police had very little to say for themselves by way of explanation.
All right. We'll put everybody else as offenders that grabbed you. We'll do that on the case report. We'll start head on. Yeah, the description or whatever. We'll get the camera. All right, head on in.
It's clear that the sergeant is aware the situation has been botched. The story officer settled on was that Leroy looked directly at the officers as they drove by, widened his eyes, and then walked away. It appears that Leroy was violently arrested for the serious crime of looking surprised. The official report went on to mention that police suspected Leroy might have had a gun when he reached for his pocket, but as they later discovered, all he could have been reaching for was his phone or glasses. It seems the real reason Leroy was stopped was simply a case of bullying or misuse of power. Leroy was charged with resisting arrest and aggravated assault against a peace officer. All charges were dropped a few months later, thanks to the body camera footage which proved Leroy was not the instigator. Leroy proceeded to sue the City of Chicago Police Department for personal damages, as well as to ensure this sort of situation doesn't happen again. He was ultimately awarded $195,000. Clearly, the situation should have been handled much differently. While police training has progressed over the years, it must continue to evolve and grow with the times. De-escalation, implicit bias, and wellness of law enforcement officers are a few of the mandatory training programs officers must complete. In addition, they're now educated on reporting misconduct they see other officers committing. While officers like these should be a thing of the past, we still have a long distance ahead, evidenced by what we just witnessed.
Hey, shout out to Leroy, man. He came up on the bad, bro. But you know what I'm saying? But shit is bad, though. Goddamn, they slammed that man on his head like that. You feel me? I ain't gonna hold you. I thought won't nothing gonna happen for bro. I thought all this was gonna happen and shit like, bro, it won't gonna be no type of payback at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, bro. Shout out to Leroy, man. He just made $195,000. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's bad he had to get slammed on his head for it. But still, though, he came off on that, bro. So shout out to Leroy, man. But, hey, this whole situation crazy. Like, man, I just say, bro, the best thing to do is stay out the way from the cops, bro. Because even though he got this bread, bro, they could have slammed that man on his head and messed him up for real, bro. But it just wasn't his time. Shout out to God, you know what I'm saying? He keep his hands on us, bro. So shout out to God, bro. But bro, I had already said, like, man, this same junk happened to me one time before. I just got $200,000 and shit. He just made $195,000 that time. That's $400. So hey, man, he coming up off that jump, bro. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, I say the best thing to do is stay out the way because, bro, every time ain't gonna be like this right here. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, bro, somebody might get shot in the midst, bro. Somebody might get slammed on their head a couple times, like, bro. Or somebody might just put their knee on your neck and you can't breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know what's gonna happen when you goddamn messing with the cops, bro. And as a bystander, I feel like all that screaming and yelling, man, that stuff can escalate to somebody else getting hurt, somebody else getting slammed. But you know what I'm saying? They can make the situation worse. So I just feel like, bro, if you ain't gonna act, like, bro, just chill out, bro, because you making the situation worse. I know y'all hear that man say, bro, I'm willing to catch a body, bro, around a group of black people. This man ain't even black. He talking about, bro, I'm willing to catch a body proudly and loudly, knowing ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Like, bro, come on, that's the disrespect. Straight like that, like, bro, that's just the disrespect. That's why I say, like, bro, if you're not crashing out, just stay out of the way, man. Hey, man, but shout out to Leroy, bro. He got that bag, man. I'm glad, bro, that, bro, he's still in his right mind. It ain't mess him up in no type of way, so shout out to him, man. But yeah, though, man, stay out of the way of these cops, bro, because he got off good, but it could come out worse, man. It's your boy CJ. That's all I got. Let's get it.